5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Bella Talks TV. This is me, Amanda Bella, recording with you guys on Wednesday this week because I'm actually going to the Bahamas tomorrow for the first time. This has been the busiest month ever, honestly. Since about Labor Day, I've been going nonstop traveling and also dealing with a lot of bridal events. I had 2 bridal showers, my bachelorette party, BravoCon, and now the Bahamas, which is kind of funny. All bees. I wonder if that's a weird sign from the universe. And Bella, oh my gosh, wow, so many bees. I'm definitely not complaining. It's been a really exciting time in my life, and I'm so glad I'm kind of catching you guys at this weird creative bubble too. It's like, what a worse time to start a podcast when I'm planning a wedding and traveling and doing all these things. But, you know, sometimes you can't help when your creative just strikes, and that's where I'm at. And it's what a time to be alive, to be not just a Bravo fan, but a reality TV fan. Again, I have so much. Somehow, some way, I was able to catch up on every single episode of every show I missed over the time I was traveling over BravoCon. Thought I would never see the light again. But I was able to catch up on Welcome to Plathville. I have to say, like, just shortly before we get into the countdown, Welcome to Plathville is just not doing it for me this season. It started off a little, like, wacky and campy, and now it's gotten just really dark and sad. You know, I will never stop watching because that's just who I am as a person and as a consumer. But I can't look away at the train wreck, but I'm also not really enjoying the last few episodes anyway. But I continue to check in with that. Another show that's not going to be on the countdown today that I hope I've been able to persuade you all to start watching was Married at First Sight Denver. We're getting through the weddings. They're just arriving on their honeymoons, and we're starting to see these couples start to open up. So definitely keep tuning in with that. And because I'm leaving tomorrow, Thursday morning, so early for the airport for this trip, we're actually going on a 5-year anniversary of when we met and started dating. So I told my fiance, he's honestly the best. If you're listening, I love you. And you just the best. Like, even though we have so many other things going on, the holidays are coming up, we're planning a wedding. Like, he really insisted that we took some time to go celebrate the 5 years that we've been together and everything that we've made it through, especially the pandemic. And just the last 5 years have been really crazy. So we're going to go celebrate that. And like I said, what a time to be alive, to be a Bravo fan and to be a reality TV fan. We have so many things going on Bravo now. We have Real Housewives of Potomac. We have the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Beverly Hills, and Miami, of course, which if you're not watching Miami, we'll be talking about that a little bit in the countdown. And Southern Charm is firing on all cylinders. We are still watching Winter House every week, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more too. So just so many good shows going on. Below Deck too. Like, honestly, it's still serving for me. I live for the drama between Natalia and Kyle. Like, they're just one of those frenemy relationships where if you are a Below Deck fan, you kind of get that they're like a necessary evil. So watching that and enjoying that too. So much good TV to watch. Jersey Shore right now, the entire original cast is filming together. So besides that, there hasn't been a lot to talk about. That show, you know, it's so overproduced, and they're very gimmicky too, like the trips and the games and the family fun days and like all of these things that they do. It's a lot of filler and a lot of produced off-screen drama that kind of gets brought on, like Twitter beefs with Angelina and just things that happen at the events that happen. Ronnie and Sam so far being together. Sammy has just came so far. She was not going to let Ronnie derail like all of the progress that she's made. I know from one girl who left a toxic relationship to another, like, you got to do you and do what's best for you. Even if the show is like, hey, we want you to sit down and film with him, she's got to be like, no, I'm just not going to do that. Now, as a reality TV consumer, like, we want to see that conversation. We do want that, but you have to give the few people that are out there that like aren't mentally ill some respect, because she seems like she's just a normal person and is kind of caught up in this. So let her just decide what she's going to show for now. And I respect that journey. There were a lot of funny moments this week. It was kind of hard to choose my LOL of the week. So a couple of runner-up moments that I still want to talk about that didn't make the countdown. One was this Golden Bachelor tell-all. Again, not a lot of like huge viral moments from the show. It's just a really good show. If you haven't been watching, I recommend going and catching up. It's a shortened season too, and the episodes are also shortened. It's a lot easier to digest than the normal Bachelor shows. But that woman tell-all had me just even more, like if I didn't love these ladies enough from the regular edited show, seeing them all together in that room playing off of each other, and they love the camera. Even when they were introducing the women and, they go around and they kind of wave to the camera. No, these women weren't just waving. They were standing up, bowing, blowing kisses. Oh my gosh, Natasha, I was gonna say, I cannot forget her name. Natasha, the lady that everybody loved for going viral from saying that they should have chairs for the women for the rose ceremonies because they're standing up there for so long. She wore earrings that were little chairs. So when they called her name and they panned into her, she was like showing her little chair earrings. I mean, these women just really found their ways into the heart of America. And I'm excited for another Golden Bachelorette season. We don't know yet who wins the heart of Gary. I always call him Jerry. Like, who the fuck's name is Jerry spelled Gerry? Like, no. Sorry to all the Gerry Jerrys out there, but I actually had an uncle named Gerald, and he went by Jerry, and he changed it to a J. Like, that's the normal thing you do when you're Jerry. You're Gerry. Anyways, still love him though. Love Gary. Gary is just a Pooh Bear. I think we all see that he has also won the hearts of America. People really want to see him fall in love again. They believe in these couples. I believe in the last three women there. I have a favorite. I really think Teresa, as nutty as she is actually the one for him. The fact you have to really be into your man. Like, she wants it. I feel like she's there for the right reasons. When they did the hometowns, I saw the whole thing happening. So anyways, I didn't want to get into a whole Golden Bachelor thing, but I just want to say that those women are amazing. And I also posted a clip. I made a reel to my Instagram, so go watch it, of just a couple of the women when they did their introductions. I just was literally rolling on the floor laughing watching them. But that is not the LOL of the week. Another runner-up LOL moment of the week was, I also posted this to my Instagram, and Johnny Fairplay reposted and then also tried to like promote some merch that he has like on the post, which I was like, okay, whatever, respect. Like, he's a legend, a Survivor legend, so I'll take any engagement I can get with Johnny Fairplay. But I posted a clip of they go on an excursion where they're bowling and there's pinball machines there. And apparently he's a big pinball guy. He's like basically said that all he cares about in life is his children, his partner, and pinball. So I mean, that's pretty high up there. And they go into this bowling alley, and as soon as he sees the pinball machines, he starts crying. Like, he just starts welling up, and then everybody's asking him if he's crying, so it's making him cry a little bit more. And then Johnny Bananas just holding him while he's crying into his chest, and he's just saying like he just loves pinball so much. He was so excited to see that pinball machine. So that moment was also hilarious. But the winner of my LOL of the week has got to go to this new housewife, Nneka, on Housewives of Potomac. So I am a skeptical of a new housewife, just like any other person. We love our OGs. We love our consistent ladies. We love just the chaotic energy of a housewife who's been around for a few seasons and kind of like is unhinged like that. New housewives coming in don't usually have that. They're still a little fake. They're a little more reserved. They're trying to put on a front, and I don't usually like a housewife's first season, but there's something about this girl coming right out the gate that I like her. I like her husband. I like their relationship. I like the whole, just them buying the house in Potomac. Like, I think they're the first housewives of Potomac who have ever lived in Potomac. So that's iconic also right off the bat. But for me, what did it for me to make her legendary status episode 1 or season 1 is the fact that she says she takes her prenatal vitamins every morning with bubbles. So champagne in the morning, and she says she ends her days with champagne in the evening. I mean, I have to just tip my hat. I love champagne. I love bubbles. I'm like Heather Dubrow, annoying level, loves to pop a bottle, press here for champagne button in the home. We love champagne, not just me, but my fiance too. We just love a good bottle of Dom, honey. Yes, it is what it is. Some people are just born with that. When Mary Cosby called to Trixie Mattel and asked for 2003 Dom Perignon, I would have had the exact same reaction. So, not that we're here giving Mary any type of praise. I barely even want to talk about her. But that moment when she took those prenatals with that champagne, that really had me laughing. I watched it 3 times. I took a video of it and posted it. I just needed to see that. And it made me really want to see more of her. So kudos to her. Like, she's wrapping me in. She's getting in the mix. What's so interesting about her too is this whole thing with Wendy and their African religions. So a fun fact about me is that I actually have a bachelor's degree in religion. So I studied psychology in my undergrad, and I double majored with a degree in religion. And I had kind of thought I would be a professor or something, like maybe teach, Dr. Wendy style. Here I am having a podcast about Bravo, which, hey, we all know that the smartest and most amazing people in the world listen to Bravo podcasts and watch Bravo. So I actually have no shame in my game. But there's just a lot of religion work going on. And I always find that so fascinating because religion is a huge part of people's real lives. And we're watching these dynamics and especially these family dynamics. I want to see what people are doing. We have that going on Potomac now with Wendy and NECA. We're going to see that play out. And then we also have that going on over on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with Jack's mission and him being chosen to go to Colombia. Now, it's already been debunked. They talked about this, saying that Jack was not in Colombia and they thought that Lisa had done something to make it so he couldn't go there because it was very unsafe and he was spotted in California on his mission instead. Jack Barlow actually debunked that, saying that he was telling everybody at BravoCon apparently, oh, no, Jack just has a visa issue and he's going to be going to Colombia soon. So, I mean, who knows if that's true? I actually kind of believe them. I'm sure that there are problems. I tried to have a destination wedding in Costa Rica. Half my family couldn't get a passport. I didn't even know that would be like an issue. So that happens. Sometimes it's really hard to get paperwork that's necessary to do these things. So we'll see what that happens. But I just find all of these different dynamics so fascinating. So that was my LOL of the week. NECA, welcome. You already got me laughing, girl. Keeping on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City tip, like I said, I barely even want to talk about Mary Cosby. We got to get into the OMG of the week because I need to talk about this. I cannot believe that this, it's so shocking. I love a good off-screen drama. So it was really shocking to find out that Robert Cosby Jr., Mary's son, is posting pictures and videos of him online with him and his wife with guns, huge bags of weed, them with taking Xannies and crushed up other pills on their tongues and sticking their tongues out, lean and promethazine and just all kinds of things. Now, it's one thing to, be a kid and do this under a Finsta or something or whatever. This kid's a public figure. He knows who his mother is. I mean, they run a church. Now, I've heard that the church is not coming back, that the church is closed permanently and that Mary's just saying it's being remodeled, but that the church is actually done. But whether or not you actually run a church now, clearly your entire life has been built upon the church. So the fact that this kid has gone, so off the rails, how do you not, first of all, have trauma and some mental, again, you'll hear me sometimes with the psychoanalysis come out. That's my psychology degree popping in a little. It's there's got to be, of course, he knows what he knows who his mom is. He knows who his dad is. He sees the dynamic. The father's not really around. It sounds like he spends years at a time, months at a time, gone away from the family home and doing whatever. There's just a lot of stuff. And then beyond that, I mean, just go online and like start Googling other things about Robert Cosby. Now, we all know how the media works and PR works. They've done a really good job at like burying this stuff and denying it. And the other girls have been really, I mean, Whitney especially tried to expose a lot of this stuff about, remember that guy like sold the house or got the mortgage to give to Mary for the church, and then he died of that like cancer. Oh my gosh. So many things. But yeah, a lot going on there. Someone please, we need to do a wellness check on Mary Cosby's son, and let's just make sure we see what's going on there and check on Mary. And she needs a real friend. Like, where's her real friends and family? I guess that's what happens when you like isolate yourself. And when you choose money, like, let this be a lesson and a warning to all that money and some kind of church legacy, like love, finding real love is just irreplaceable in the true meaning of life. So I feel bad for her, and I really, really want her to, it's like some of these other housewives that you feel like will never, like, think about Kyle Mauricio, like never in 1,000 years did you ever think that they were going to get divorced. But people have these like awakenings where they all of a sudden wake up one day and they're like, okay, my life is this many years over. I only have this much time, and they, you know, they can change. So I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, but let's just keep our eye on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City over there. And moving on to our top 5 countdown, we're already moving into the most 5 talked about moments that I've seen on screen, off screen, online. I'm out here just gathering all the data for you guys, letting you know what I'm seeing and hearing in these streets. And the number 5 most talked about moment right now is just Winter House as a whole. It's so hard to even choose one moment specifically. I think I have to just start with talking about Danielle Oliveira, and as Andy so lovingly calls him, Jokin' Joe Bradley. Like, I don't really know what that means. And whenever Andy has like really weird inside jokes with some of these guys, I mean, this is allegedly, I mean, everything I say on this podcast is always alleged. I mean, what do I know? I know nothing. Who am I? But there's just something about when he's like, oh, he has these nicknames and these like inside jokes with these guys on Bravo. It's like, I mean, there's a big rumor that, again, allegedly, that Jax hooked up with him back in the day. I mean, you can just tell that there's some, you know, I don't want to say it's inappropriate. Like, you can have a crush on somebody and flirt with them and not have it be inappropriate. Like, he's just crushing and flirting. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but Joe Bradley is like 22 years old, so I don't know. That's a little young. But anyways, they're together. They were seen at BravoCon, and then this is exactly what I was talking about on my BravoCon episode, which if you did not go listen to that from last week yet, I know you're probably burned out on BravoCon. I promise it's a good episode. Go listen to it. But this is one of those things that came out that happened after that nobody was talking about last week yet. But they were seen canoodling and at BravoCon After Dark at Omnia at Caesar's Palace. And there's now been videos released of them also hanging out. And then now he is visiting her in New York, and they are spending time together. And he was with her when she was at Watch What Happens Live last night. So last night Danielle was on, and just a very interesting couple. Didn't see that one coming. I love Southern Hospitality. If you guys don't know who Joking Joe Bradley is, I'm sorry, I should have said that from the beginning. He's from Southern Hospitality, which is the Vanderpump Rules style show that is based off Leva's chain of restaurants down in Charleston, Leva from Southern Charm. So if you haven't gone and watched Southern Hospitality, I'm obsessed with Maddie Reese, DJ Maddie Reese. She actually recently followed me, and that was like a big gag for me. But I really like love that show and love those kids. They're so young and they're still so pure. It really reminds me of first season, second season VPR. So please go watch and catch up on the episodes. There's about 8 out, and the second season's about to drop. So, but yes, back to Winter House again. Okay. So we touched on Danielle and Joe Bradley. So I had to just get that out of the way. But really the number 5 most talked about moment has been this moment with Malia. Crazily, okay, now we have gotten a little more information. It looked like she was trying to kiss Corey or like jumping on him. And no, of course we know that that's not how someone normally would kiss somebody, like jumping on them like that. So I knew there had to be more to the story. Now, Malia has said that she was actually trying to spit a drink into Corey's mouth, and she even admitted like that was really cringy. But I want to know more about this because That's like Sam and Corey's thing. Well, I don't know. Maybe is that just Corey's thing that he does with all girls, and then now Sam's doing it with the drink spitting? Because even at BravoCon, Sam, when they asked Sam if her and Corey were together, she was like, "Oh, he just spit a drink in my mouth 5 minutes ago. So yeah, I guess we're together." I mean, that to me is disgusting, and I'm not even a prude like that. But I could do without the bird feeding of the beverages. But Malia jumping on him and trying to do that to Corey in the winter house before Sam gets there. And then we haven't yet seen her come in and claim her man. The winter house of it all is just keeping me on the edge of my seat every episode. Now we're also getting Schwartz and Katie Floody. So Floody and Schwartzy are starting to also kindle a little hookup. And I'm living for Jordan's talking head. She's giving really good head in this winter house season. Her confessionals are on fire. And I just really want to spend more time with her. I'm excited for that second season of Summer's House, Martha's Vineyard. So that whole hot mess of a situation and of Winter House, just that is all for me. I'm not missing Paige and Craig. Amanda came in and that was a major snooze. She wasn't feeling good, which I respect. Like, I get it. Like I said, when I got into BravoCon, I didn't feel good that whole first night. I had bad vertigo. So when she got up and left the first dinner and was like, I'm not feeling good, I kind of was like, all right, good for her. I get it. But also, she's just never really been like great TV. We really need Kyle to like cheat with Riley. No, I don't want to even say that. That's so savage. And no, I don't ever want Kyle to cheat. But Riley coming in and just getting into the mix. Oh, this house is a hot mess. And I'm living for the winter house. So that was my number 5 moment. My number 4 moment of the most talked moments of the week that I'm seeing online and across the board is this whole Sutton at Magic Mike. The pants. Did she wear the pants for Magic Mike? Why she didn't get chose. Now, this is tough because I hate the feeling of being left out too. And like when you want to get picked for something or when you go into something with such high expectations and hopes and then you get let down, like I don't feel bad that she feels disappointed for not getting to go on stage. Like I get, she was really excited. Like, I mean, the editors and the producers really put it together to show us. Like she had been talking about going on stage for like 8 hours. So I don't think that it was really blown up or exaggerated, like how upset she was. I think the weird part about it is that she tried to play it off like she didn't want to go up there, or that I think she was actually more worried that if she had gone up there and then they did the pantomiming of the cunnilingus on her, then she would have been like flipping. But I don't think that they would have done that. I actually don't think that they did that at all. I think that was like a choreographed moment with Erica and that dancer. So I don't know. The whole situation was just weird and like a very big miscommunication, I think. But still, it seems like Sutton's going to dig herself into quite a hole this year. She's going to go up against Kyle, which we know. I mean, hell hath no fury, like a middle-aged, no age shame or anything, but she is middle-aged. Kyle's, middle-aged and maybe going through a crisis. And, I wouldn't really fuck with her right now. I feel like she has nothing to lose. She's already like going through a divorce and everybody kind of knows her business. And I don't know if I would really choose her to be the one to go up against this season, but I don't think that Sutton can help herself. I mean, I would actually I don't know. We have to see these fights and then the makeups to make sense. There's a lot more to come from the Real Houses of Beverly Hills. Denise hasn't even showed up yet. We know that there's drama to be seen from that. And there's going to be that 2-part episode too coming out about betting it all on blonde about Erica's show. I mean, Erica's in her redemption era. I actually am kind of living for it. But I think that she really handled the whole situation at Magic Mike the best. She came off looking really good, and she knew that she wasn't going to sweat it and let Sutton ruin it. She had so much fun. And at the end of the day, like, I don't think she really knew like how bad it had been. Like, yes, Sutton was being a baby, but you could tell Kyle was trying to make it seem worse than it was and getting everybody worked up. And like, her tricks are just not going to work anymore. People, I think, are over her antics, and it's like the same playbook every season, Kyle. So goodbye, Kyle. She should also take a page from Erica's book and just try to be like the fun, cool one for a season. Maybe just try to be likable and let the other girls be crazy and unlikable. But anyway, still getting a lot of talk. People were very worked up about that situation with Sutton. So we'll see what happens there. Speaking of Vegas and just crazy shit going on there, lots and lots of Vegas stuff. Just Vegas is still on all of our energies and all of our auras right now, because even my number 3 most talked about moment of the week is the episode of the Kardashians when Kim decides to fly her Kim Air, which just right off the bat, I have to say, how funny was that she like forgot Chloe? Like, oh my God, Chloe. That girl just cannot catch a break. She finally was going to like get out of the house and film something, and then Kim like forgets her on the jet, on the PJ. But anyway, she decides to take her hairstylist, Chris Applegate and Lucas Gage from the White Lotus fame, and they were engaged, took them to Vegas. She officiated their wedding, which I've actually done that before. I officiated my brother's wedding, and it was so nerve-wracking, and I thought I was going to actually have a panic attack, and she was like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, I'm just going to roll up and do it. Like, I have nothing prepared. They just printed out this sheet for me. Like, that to me already read that it wasn't like a real wedding. I know, I already got vibes right away. Like, if you're officiating somebody's wedding, especially the way that Kim is, this bitch can't even get dressed in the morning without being like needing approval from 50 people about if it's going to look right. So you're going to tell me that you just like rolled up there so laissez-faire and like conducted an entire wedding ceremony? No, I smelled from the beginning that something was off with this wedding. They also go on the way there and stop to see Shania Twain, and I don't know, like controversial topic, like no shade to anybody whose wedding song that is, but I don't know, it looks like we made it. Look how far we've come. I don't know. To me, that song already starts off saying like, whoa, we've been through some shit, and maybe that's true, but a couple that just was giving me toxic. That song gives me toxic vibes of like, hey, like, look at all the stuff we've had to go through to get here. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like you should feel that like that way when you're getting married. But normally people would say I'm a hater, but obviously my intuition was right, because they have now divorced after 6 months of marriage, and they're filing for irreconcilable differences. Apparently, Chris is actually the one that filed away from Lucas. My guess is maybe that Lucas is going to be filming for White Lotus again, and that maybe I heard, I think, a while back that the new season's filming in Bali or somewhere in Southeast Asia. So he could maybe just be gone a lot, and maybe they got married 6 months ago, and for 4 months he's been gone filming, and he's like, what the hell did I get married for? So, I don't know. The whole thing just feels like it was fake. I mean, can we just do a check on if Chris Applegate did he just need citizenship? I mean, is that shady? I mean, I am not an internet sleuth. Like, I'm not somebody who goes online and does these deep dives. I'm not looking up like public records, but if somebody else can look and they can tell me if he had a green card or if he had any residency, and if he just did this for a green card, because 90 Day Fiance is a real thing, boo-boo. So yeah, number 3, that was it. I'm actually really excited for the new season of White Lotus. I hope that we get some answers about what happened with Tanya's ex. And I also want to know what goes on with Aubrey Plaza's character. So hopefully we'll get to see what goes on with that now that the Screen Actors Guild strike is over and everybody's back to work. And moving on to my number 2, Eventually Guys 2. Like, I'm so excited to tell you, thanks for already being with me so much through all of this kind of like janky production. This is a one-woman show here. I'm sitting at my desk in my second bedroom in my apartment. My dog's on my lap. It's really just a microphone and a computer and me and my Send It to Daryl sweatshirt. Sometimes I take the videos. I really have the intention of still doing the YouTube, and also uploading more clips of the pod and stuff to my Instagram. But this is a one-woman show. I do everything by myself, record, edit, produce. So I have a lot that I need to add production-wise and quality-wise to this show. But if you're already here and enjoying like what you're hearing so far, I know you're going to love the developments I have coming in the future. So I just wanted to say that really fast, because I thought about that as I transition into the number 2 moment of the week. I really want to have, just some better transition music. I'm sure at some point I'll have some ads and stuff that will be in the middle of this. So right now it sounds weird that I'm just like reading off a continuous list of, my thoughts, a continuous stream of my consciousness. But I promise, like, I'm really just sitting here reading off a list of my notes that I keep. And it's just a really chill and low production, low budge show. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate your loyalty now. And I promise the show's going to be getting a lot better. So let's move on to my number 2 moment of the week. We've got to talk about Real Housewives of Miami. They're really killing it so far this season. I have to say, I was just having this conversation with a bunch of people too about production and how I'm so proud of the production company that is in charge of the Real Houses of Miami. Not only did they kill this reboot so much so that they're getting themselves put back on the mainstream Bravo, for ratings and ads and all of the important things to just be on cable network television again and being live television like that. I'm so proud of them, but they're just doing so amazing with just the way that they're producing the storylines and getting what's really going on in the women's real lives on camera. And the fact that these women are just a different type of authentic, where it's like East Coast versus West Coast. Like there's just that stereotype that East Coast people are a little more real and the West Coast is a little more fake. But then if you throw in like East Coast Florida, where like, I think we all know Florida is kind of like real, it's like a lot of real people there, salt of the earth. So I think there's just this combination of like East Coast, tell it how it is and being authentic, but then mixed with this like Southern Miami, like the colors and the flavors and just the fashion, and it's just an amazing show. So if you have never gotten into this, I really recommend going back and watching from the beginning to really be able to get the full picture of these women and their stories. Especially even like how Jody has now moved. Well, Jody didn't just move in, but Lisa and Jody are dating, and how he lives in Adriana's old home that she used to live in with Frederick. Like some of these things just go way back. So you have to really start from the beginning and go back and watch. But speaking of Adriana, that is the number 2 episode of this week. So apparently Alexia and Adria got into it this week at the Miami airport over the fact that Adriana's been basically talking shit about Alexia and Todd and how they're having struggles in their marriage because of Todd's finances, maybe. I mean, okay, we have to I just preach these women for keeping it real. But Alexia, like I said, the producers are doing a good job with her this season because, first of all, she was wretched last season. She was egotistical. She was nasty. She was, snarky at best. She was really kind of like sharp around the edges. And over the break, they got through to her. She did some self-reflection, and she came back this season ready to just be a little softer, be a little more vulnerable, and be a little more willing to listen, which is so important for a housewife. Like the reason why people get so frustrated with some of these women is because they don't evolve and they don't change and grow. And yes, we love a Delulu housewife, but we need to see some kind of arc within their character. Now, Adriana is messier than ever, but I think there's something about the fact that they haven't actually given her mojito. So for whatever reason, she's not full-time, and I'm not sure what's going on there. Like, why is Adriana not full-time? And she gets more screen time than any of these housewives. So I think there's just got to be something going on there. Maybe she's constantly doing these things because she knows that as a friend of, she gets paid per episode and she needs to keep herself in every storyline. I think there's like just some strategy there, kind of Survivor style, that she's trying to stay on the show. Marisol, she is kind of the opposite, where like she's flopping a little bit because she's not playing hard and she's not willing to film with everybody, and she's kind of trying to set her own boundaries and be like bigger than the group. So that's why her and Alexia seem to have a little bit of a, they have this, they're bros, they have this bromance, they are besties, but they have a little bit of a ripple going on right now. But Adriana, accusing them of having these problems. So like we said with Alexia, like even though she's growing and evolving, we can't really just deny the fact that she is who she is, and she's the Cuban Barbie, and she wants to be with a certain type of man, don't they all? And Todd is he obviously loves her. She said that they've been together for 7 years. So there's love there. But if the money is gone, like Alexia knows that she's not scared to get married a 4th time. She's not scared to get married a 5th time. Keep them coming. So Todd better ship up or shape out, because I think if he's refusing to film and he's out of money, doesn't matter if they've been married for 1 year or been together for 7. I can see that marriage dissolving. So that was a huge part of some off-screen drama of the week. And then also kind of bringing back into Houses of Miami, we have to touch on this whole Larsa and Gertie situation too, because the fact that Larsa really is, she's really getting a bad villain edit this season, which kind of makes me laugh. Like, again, you never know what goes on behind the scenes between the producers and the housewives, and whatever Larsa is trying to, I think she just lies a lot, is my guess, is that she's a liar, and that she is also just very deceiving or maybe manipulative with like what she does and shows everybody. So the producers are kind of like always trying to expose her, and the other women are too, of being like, you're just being fake. I think that Larsa has things confused where like she thinks if she says things, then she's real, but you can still know somebody's intention even if they're saying something. So she's just not able to like sell what she's trying to get across to these women, because she is, I think, kind of dark-sided, and they all have their eye on her. So the season has been starting with Gertie having her cancer diagnosis, and Larsa and her are at odds, from the reunion stuff they had filmed, and then they took a break from filming. They're still not talking. They're trying to get back on good terms, because Gertie's trying to explain to her, like, hey, I know we're not really on good terms right now, but like, I really don't have the energy to be fighting you with having an enemy, because what these women do is they try to get somebody off the show. Like, they will either bully them. No, I mean, and I don't care what these people say. Like, oh, I'm not a bully. Like, I don't care if you're an adult. Even Lala said once, like, oh, you can't ever say you've been bullied on reality TV because you can leave, you know what you signed up for, like all these things. No, like, I do believe that there's a way that these women can be like conspiring against you. They can want to get you kicked off. And honestly, like, you're going to lose a job then. And with being a housewife is a lot of opportunity and a huge platform. So for her to like basically try to get somebody to either be so unhappy that they leave on their own accord, so then it's like, oh, well, they left and whatever, like, they don't take their offer to come back, or they have to come back and like fight every single time that they're in a social situation just to be there. And that's gotta really suck, especially when you have cancer. So her trying to explain this to Larsa, like, I just don't have the energy for this right now. And her basically doubling down or like not truly understanding or making it about her and saying like, well, how would I know that? It just further proves that like Larsa is a great housewife. She, I think, has at this point just totally belly flopped for me. Like, no empathy, no compassion, no willingness to listen. I mean, I think there's just narcissistic tendencies there. I would never call somebody flat out. Like, I would, I'm not here to give anybody a psych eval, but I just feel like if you are unable to even have somebody in front of you, like in that vulnerable of a moment, and not even be able to at least fake it, like even just fake that you care for the cameras. I mean, I don't know what's more psychotic, I guess, being so sociopathic that you don't care, or not even being able to fake it. Either way, it's not great. And that brings us to our number one moment of the week this week. So it's a pretty good one. It's a doozy. I mean, I don't, again, know how we got here, but these housewives just keep us fed. They keep us every single time I open my phone, hitting refresh, wanting to know the latest drama. And right now I'm living to find out what is going to happen with the Salt Lake City reunion and what is happening with the lawsuit between Heather, Nikki, Garcia, Darnell, Fowler, and Heather Gay. So like we said, we've talked about on this show how Monica has many aliases, many past lives, and how the women don't really seem to know the real her. Now, I've seen a lot of people being very upset online that she's being accused of stealing Lisa's ring, but like sometimes people have to understand, like, if the shoe fits. Now, had Monica not have all of this other dark stuff going on with her, nobody would ever even think for a second that she'd be capable of stealing a ring. But the fact that she did, I mean, I have theories, you guys. Like, I have my tinfoil hat on. I have my Southern Charm Craig Conover tinfoil hat on. Now, right, like, I don't know. This is me going really off the deep end, like I said, tinfoil hat style. But like the fact that her mom disappeared for a couple of weeks, I think, after this and like didn't film. I mean, is there a chance that she's in on this with her and that they would stage a fight, that she would go out of state to like go sell the ring? Because you know that they can't sell that ring locally. It would be immediately flagged, or like Salt Lake City's not that big. Utah's not that big. She would have to go to like California or something, sell the ring and pawn it and be able to get the money for it. I mean, that is really, really insane. I am ashamed of myself for even like caring or thinking that much to even make up a story like that. But I can't help it. It's like, I just feel like there is a chance that she maybe did steal this ring, and that maybe Monica is capable of some of these things, and that we really don't know what I mean, we didn't think people still to this day would be like, Jen Shah would never steal. She would never do that. It's like, she literally is convicted and serving prison time. And it's like, it's almost if they never acknowledge it and they never say it happened, then it never happened. And I think that we're getting the same Monica energy, same Jen Shah energy from Monica. Like, she went to the Shaw University School of Hard Knocks. And I don't know, maybe she's in cahoots with Jen. Do we know if they're still in touch? I mean, no, I guess she did say that she actually was the one that turned her in, but that again brings me even further back to my point. Like, she had an opportunity and whatever with Jen, and yes, did she do the right thing by calling her into the feds? Absolutely. But it just shows that if she's willing to do these things for advancement in her own situation, then I think she's capable of a lot, and we have got to keep our eye on her. Putting on my monocle, and I'm zoomed in on this situation. I need to know more. I need to know what's going to happen when they go on this trip to Bermuda. Seems like we're coming up close on this. I mean, it's got to be coming in the coming episodes when we find out, when Heather gets the phone call and she finds out that it was Monica. Now, again, I'm seeing a lot of chatter online. Like, there's a lot of mixed discourse about this, because some people are like, oh my God, I can't believe that Heather waited to sue her until now, because I guess that this started in 2018. And then also that it's over such a small amount. Like, why would she sue her over that? But as somebody I actually have worked in medical offices, and I know a lot about medical billing and just how these account receivable things work. It's not like Heather ever knew. I guarantee Heather never even knew that it was Monica that owed this money and stuff. So when you put somebody into collections and you start the process of that, it's really hard to keep track of, especially if it's a place like Beauty Lab and Laser. There's probably a lot of different people that are late on payments if they're offering financing. And it's not like there's just like a picture of Monica's face up on the wall in the lobby, like a wanted poster. And they're like, oh, don't let this lady in here. It's like, you're right. There's lots of people that probably fall behind on payments, receive bills, receive notices. And she probably was just in the system receiving automated correspondence from the office about owing money. And then if you don't respond to that correspondence, at some point you get taken to collections, get taken to court. Things can happen. So it's not like it was some like thing that she just decided all of a sudden now to act on. It takes a while for these things to catch up to you. Now we see on camera that she ends up finding out too that it was never under Monica's real name. So of course, how would she know that it was her? She starts connecting the dots, realizing that it's the same girl that owes money, that they're kind of suing from the clinic. And I think to me that this seems like a very genuine and authentic situation. I also feel like, I see why she's suing Monica, because Monica now has in turn said that she just didn't pay her bills because it was botched surgery. Again, like, if you work in a medical practice and somebody's out there saying that you provide botched services or that you've gotten messed up from medical service, you're absolutely getting sued. 1000%. I'll see you in court. Like, people are shocked that Heather is suing her. This is Heather's livelihood, her business. Her entire, she's got 3 girls to take care of. I mean, I'm sure she has money from her ex, but she takes care of her family. She is an independent single woman, and she's built this legacy and this entire company. And I would sue the shit out of Monica. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, coming back to whether or not it was botched. Now, she's going to have to prove that. I guess if Monica does end up being in the right, I'll eat my words. But I think that it would really take a lot to prove. There's waivers that you sign. There's just all kinds of things for you to be able to prove that something happened to you. So this is clearly a real dramatic situation that's playing out in real time that we're all living to see what happens. And I'm on the edge of my seat. Wow, there was a lot of stuff to talk about this week, even though it's been a short week so far. Again, I'm recording a little bit early. I'm also putting out this episode closer midweek just to see if it affects reaching more people. And I'm just going to be constantly playing with the format of this show. That's the best part about the fact that I get to do it by myself. I get to choose when I record. I get to choose whatever I say, how I distribute it. And it's been such a journey so far. This is only the 6th episode, but feels like I just got started. And I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, tuning in, supporting me. If you have not, please, I'm literally begging you guys to leave me a 5-star review and a rating. I see you all. I'm getting the downloads. People are listening. So please, 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 I'm listening to you. I'm looking right at you right now. I'm giving you heart eyes. Please leave me a review. And give me a follow on Instagram. Come say hi to me. Be like, hey, girl, I'm listening. Tell me stuff that you like and don't like about this. Open to feedback. And like I said, I'm going to the Bahamas tomorrow. I will be enjoying a few days in the sun with my boo. And I'm going to be back next week to talk about all the shit that I missed over the weekend. I can't wait to come back and break it down with you. And I love each and every one of you. Ciao, Bellas. Have a great weekend. Bella Talks TV is recorded, edited, and produced by me, Amanda Bella. You can follow me at Bella Talks TV on Instagram and TikTok. And please also be sure to email me any questions or if you want to work together in any way at bellatalkstv@gmail.com.